Hey, Michael, can you hear me?
Yo, what's up, Brett?
How's it going, buddy? You doing okay?
Good, man. How you doing? Thanks for giving me some time, man.
No, no, thanks for the offer and the invite. I appreciate it, man.
Dude, it's I tell you what, I've been following you a while. So when I had this going before, I wanted to have you on a long time ago, but then I fucking shit happened, babies happened, pandemic happened, and all that crap, man.
So you've already got way more going on than I do, for sure.
Oh, well, Jesus Christ, no, man. Everybody's got all their shit, you know. Everybody's got a bunch of stuff.
And I think we've been following each other for about the same amount of time, and and we don't. This is the first time we ever chatted, and we've never interacted too much. But congrats on all your success, man. You've been involved with Joey Diaz. Didn't you step up to like a producer now?
Yeah, I produced the joint for him.
Yeah. And, you've been doing stuff with Rogan, doing the graphic design work and all the Photoshop work for those guys.
Yeah, man.
Plus you've got, you've got, bro, like you've got over 200 podcasts or something. Like you've got a lot of stuff going on, man.
Yeah.
Plus your kids, plus family, plus everything else, dude. So it's congrats, man.
Thank you very much, man. Dude, holding shit down, trying to.
Yeah, buddy.
Well, thanks, man, and congrats to you too, cause, dude, that's how I found out about you. You were doing posts. The first thing I found out about you, cause I found out more as I looked into and shit, was the poster work that I saw you doing for Bert and Doug. I fell in love with it. That's why I started following you and shit. You know.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
And then I saw you. I think you did something for Joey too. I might have shared back in the day. You might have did a sketch of him or something, or Rogan or something. I forget, but. You do a shitload of everyone, and I love your fucking style. It just kicks ass, man.
Well, thanks, man. It's I get bored pretty easily, and I try to.
I know that.
And I change it up a lot, and as and I don't know if I'm reaching, but I'm just trying to keep myself out of a comfort zone and just trying to keep learning and just trying to just not get pigeonholed and not get in a comfortable zone. I'm just trying to.
Dude, I felt the same exact way with the Photoshop stuff, because that's basically all I was fucking doing for a long time that I was putting out. I've been making art for a long time, but I never showed people that crap, and I never really until the last couple of years I didn't really start making art based off of comedy and the shit that I was into at the time. But I don't know, man. It's just weird how the whole fucking scene just blew up in the last couple of years, Especially for the art world and the people that are related to comedy and stuff like that,
It's I've always seen poster art for comedians out there, but I've never seen what's happening, just like you said, as of the past couple of years. It seems like there's styles coming from everywhere.
Yeah.
Whether it's I don't. This is bad, but I have to say it to get it in people's minds. But the Russian pop propaganda posters, those intense red, whites, and blacks. I'm seeing that, which I love those. Those super designy and cool. Really well thought out type, heavy Adobe Illustrator influence. I'm seeing a lot of those. There's just a little bit of everything out there, and seen every kind of style from comic books to paintings and everything else. And
that's why I was really looking through your feed, and I noticed too your style. You were just mentioning how you try not to get pigeonholed, and you kind of you added a little bit from the sketch to the comic to even more it looks like you Photoshop backgrounds in there that weren't sketched, that kind of shit.
That's exactly right. And I can tell you, so sometimes if I have to grab a sky, I'll grab, if I can't take a photo myself, I'll go out and just manipulate it where I can't be sued.
Exactly.
But, I'll throw a halftone on it, whatever. I'll manipulate it even more. But Bert's posters, for example, there's just time. I didn't have time. I think the fastest poster I did for Bert was 9 hours. And it was the Brea, California one, where his old dog was pulling like we did like the copper tone baby type. He was pulling a speedo.
Yeah,
I did that in 9 hours.
9 hours. Oh my God.
But most of them were more than that. Bert would hit me up and say noon on a Wednesday and need it by the time he landed at his gig at noon on Thursday so he could get off the plane, go to Kinko's or wherever he's printing it. And so a lot of time, like I was emailing it to him at noon, and finished stuff.
God.
So some of that stuff, and like that, the San Francisco one, I was really trying to get I was already working with Doug, but I kept wanting to expand out. And so I hand drew that Golden Gate Bridge one in San Francisco, and then I hand drew the Disneyland one, Disney World, because it was in Florida at that time. He was doing a gig there, and this one was Segura and the balloons and that kind of stuff. And then it became a point, it's like, man, I don't have time to hand draw all this. If I can find any way to cheat, I'm going to figure out a way to meet this deadline, get some sleep, man.
Hell yeah, especially those backgrounds and shit, man. I've been looking into trying to get into like drawing as a comic book artist and shit. Like, but my God, it is like unless you are there. You got like a comic book that you're trying to self-publish. I hear, right? Maybe
well, I've got several ideas
before death. Yeah,
before, and it's it's kind of that thing where there's so many projects I want to work on personally, but when a cool project, if Doug or Shaylee specifically hits me up and goes, "Hey, we need a poster. You in?" I'm like, oh, "Hell yeah, man!" It's like, you're gonna throw me some money? Yeah, I'd rather do that.
I know, and I drop what I'm fucking doing, man. Whenever Joey or Rogan like messages you, I'm like,
Of course.
Dude, I was sitting, there's so many times I'm sitting in my cubicle before the pandemic hit, before we all our comedian and all the comedians and all the comedian, leeches fucking lost their work. I would just be like, fuck this. I get up from my desk and go in the bathroom and make a poster for him, or at least start one,
And, and I don't know about you, but shit, man. When the pandemic hit, and just prior to the pandemic hitting, this would have been September, October of 19. I was, Creative Cloud with Adobe and Photoshop and Illustrator.
Yeah.
And then I updated to Catalina, to that new OS.
Okay.
And, I'm on an older system, still running the old Intel 5, Intel 6 chip, something like that. But when Catalina came out, killed my system and nothing worked. Creative Cloud, nothing worked at all. And, Bert and his crew were trying to hit me up going, "Hey, man, we want you to work for us. We want you to work for us." I'm like, I'm not going to bullshit you. I'll never lie to you. I physically can't. I want to. I can't meet a deadline. I can't. I don't, that's kind of, everything pissed me off with all the OS upgrades. And that's really why I went back to traditional.
Really?
And, just technology pissed me off so much. And, and it wasn't like the yearly rates for Creative Cloud and Studio were just getting any cheaper.
Yeah, I know. It's like $100 a year, right? Still, like.
Shit, for Photoshop and Illustrator combined, you're looking at $600 a year. And, it was,
I think it went down a little bit. I think because I have the Creative Cloud now, and I have like Photoshop, Illustrator, Premiere Pro, any ones that they offer on there, dude. Why did they charge you once you download it or some shit?
What they'll do is they'll initially charge you as soon as you subscribe. Boom, it comes out of your account, and then the next day you go, I want to unsubscribe from this. Give me money back. No. You're good for the year, and we just charge you a year. And so if you found it cheaper, because they did, there was a big thing on Twitter. All these younger kids were coming out because Photoshop put out this just completely just tone deaf tweet a while back and goes, you don't have to create every day. You can take some time off. And some kid retweeted it going, you don't have to create every day, but Adobe is still going to charge you money every day. it blew up. And next thing you know, everybody was throwing in all these free apps and stuff that you could go and, man, that's
how I did it, man. That's how since the beginning. Like, I had Photoshop for the iPhone at first, and it had like 99% of the shit on it. This is like in 2014, 2015.
Yeah.
Then they started the cloud thing, and that app fucking disappeared after a certain amount of time. I actually like wouldn't update I wouldn't update my phone at the time. It was an iPhone 6. I would not update the phone because the app would disappear or not be able to work for like a year. I just did not update my phone. I was like, fuck this shit, because I did everything on there. And then they went up to that cloud thing, and I was like, fuck. And then I actually found it was a good deal at the time. It was $99 for the year. And I just Photoshop. It was everything. It was like you can download whatever one of the apps that you want to your computer. So I just basically had those three, and but I mean, I would love for them to fucking just fix the iPad versions of Illustrator and Photoshop. Just make them the same as the computer. You know, they can handle it now. Did you end up getting a new computer
I'm still rocking the same desktop. So what I did was I took a chance. I got tired of having to turn clients away. I got tired of not making money because, as you know, when the pandemic hit, comedy clubs stopped. They just turned out the lights, locked up the doors. Comics stopped touring. And the last thing they were going to pay for was merch. And we were just shit out of luck. We were on our own. There was nothing. I mean, there was no cash coming in at all. And so I kind of took a big investment, and I started looking at kind of a cheaper outlet. And so I hooked myself up with a newer iPad. I guess it's the iPad Gen 3, 12.9 inch.
That's what I got.
The second gen Apple Pencil, so Apple Pencil 2, and Procreate.
Yes.
Dude,
yes.
I'll never go back to Photoshop. I do miss out on making fonts in Illustrator. I do miss that vector-based, but I don't care.
There is one vector. There's a couple vector apps for iPad.
And a lot of them are free.
Yeah. But there's one that's like $25, maybe $50 that I never really got into, but I fucking downloaded the damn thing. Hold on. I have the damn shit right here. You probably know what I'm talking about. Affinity Photo and an Affinity Draw or whatever. That's what it was.
I don't have it, but I've seen other people talking about it. But I made this joke on Twitch tonight. If you would come to me in 1994 and somebody had said, hey, man, you see Quark Express and Photoshop and Illustrator, all that shit is going to be replaced by a $10 app. I would have said, first of all, what's an app?
What the hell are you talking about that first?
But yeah, Procreate it's my jam, man. I can do everything with it. It's a streamlined version of Photoshop. And there's times when I'll go, shit, I wish Procreate did this. But it does do that. I just got to figure out how to do it.
Yep. There's so many times where I'm on YouTube, how to do this, Procreate.
Yep. And it's $10.
And it's $10 and you got it forever. And it updates. Dude, you saw the latest update, right? With the fucking 3D.
Oh, I did see that.
It's cool, but you have to be into all that 3D shit too.
And I wanted to play with it because I get kind of nuts when I dive into something like that. I want to know everything there is to know about it right then. Yeah. And I won't sleep, and I'll just stay up messing with it. And I was like, you know what? That's just going to waste my time. I'm not going to use it.
That's how I've been fucking with Blender. Do you ever see that app or that program? It's a free open source program for your computer that it's like you ever hear Cinema 4D? It's like the shit.
Yeah,
it's basically like that, but the free version. So I've been trying to figure that shit out, and my God, it's just hours upon hours to do one little scene for oh my God. But there is cool ass shit in there, dude. You're into comic books, and I am too, and making them. This thing, you can make scenes, right? you can make a world, 3D world that you want to have like your comic book in. I've seen like this a couple videos on YouTube and some dudes like showing you how to do it, but obviously it would take forever to set it up. But once you have it set up, it's like you can go in there, you can like have your character if you already have one, and you can pose it around. You can add lights and cameras, and then you can fucking take like a snapshot of it and turn it into the line work for your friggin' comic.
Wow,
it's crazy.
There's a I don't want to cross promote too much because we're not getting anything out of it. But there's a Marvel Marvel, one of the how-to books. I think Freddie Williams was the author illustrator, and he was one of the first guys that started out doing all those backgrounds as a vector art, and then put it in Photoshop and being able to do. And it was just saving him a ton of time, and he swears by it. But it's
it's up to you, really. Would you? Because I feel like because you have super amounts of time that you want to save. Like, have you ever thought about doing like comic book covers? Like not even the whole comics?
I really do enjoy the sequential part of it. It's I've got one comic that I did 20 years ago, but just like life catches up with you, man. Life gets in the way.
I read you were a storyboard artist. Was that a while ago when that was?
So yes, I've had several different lives. I don't know how long. I don't know how long you want to go.
We're going for a little while here, so it's all good.
So it's to pay for college, I got in the Air National Guard.
Okay.
Knocked out and just quit a semester and did my basic training in tech school and all that stuff. And then once you get out of that in the National Guard, you're fine. 1 week in a month, 2 weeks a year, easy peasy. And, your college is paid for. Everything was good. And so graduated college. I was a graphic design and illustration major. Worked my way up on Music Row. Assistant art director for a couple magazines, CCM magazine, Musician magazine, and then found another. Because that time they were already getting rid. This is mid to late '90s. They were getting rid of pensions, getting rid of retirement, cutting insurance benefits. So at that, I had no loyalty to any company at all.
Yeah.
If I found a company that paid me $5,000 more a year, goodbye. I was gone. Because it's I could put that $5,000 to use for something else.
Exactly.
And so I was bouncing, from job to job, and a great job I had was I became storyboard artist for a film production company. Did that about 3 years. Did a lot of cool stuff. A lot of, we're in Nashville, and so did some Tim McGraw storyboards for his videos and some other country folks. About 400 TV commercials, that kind of stuff. So it worked a lot, and I really liked it. But then found another job. I was like, oh, okay. Now I get back on Music Row as an art director. Of course, at that time, it's like, let's get those titles in black and white. Roper is shit, but it comes with a higher paycheck, because you're always thinking about how we're going to get paid next. And that's when 9/11 happened. And so my Air National Guard unit, we got activated, and that was it. I was gone. So in and out of the Middle East, all over, really all over the world. From 2002, I was on the road constantly from early 2002 to 2008. And then again, we're full-time military, and till my retirement. So
Thank you for your service, man. Jesus.
Dude, it's just a job. That wasn't my plan at all. I wanted to do that as an
But you were out there doing it while I was at home with my thumb up my ass. So
that was just, I wanted to, the focus on the art. That was just a bridge to help me get some.
Yeah. I mean,
totally. Never saw that shit coming.
Fuck no, man. I thought about it, but then again, dude, I actually joined in 8th grade going to 9th grade in my high school. Well, it was like a junior high and a high school. So some classes like 9th grade, you'd stay down in the junior high for, unless you took certain electives that got you up into the senior high. And so in 8th grade, my best friend at the time was like, hey man, you want to join ROTC? JROTC? We could shoot rifles and shit. I was like, Let's do it. This is like right before Columbine, actually.
Oh man. God.
So we got into that, and they made him cut his hair. They asked us, all of us, to cut our hair. We're in fucking high school though.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't know. I was into fucking music. I was in a band, and I was like, we're not even really shooting real rifles. They're like little tiny things with little. So no, I ain't cut my hair. I might wear the suit every Wednesday or whatever, once a month. But yeah, I ain't cutting my hair right now, man. I'm sorry.
and meanwhile, they're trying to indoctrinate you as a kid.
Yeah.
It's trying to be hard to you. And what they don't understand is, some high school kid go, I don't need this shit. Goodbye.
Yeah. See you.
You done ran me off. See ya.
But yeah, that was actually, So I was, my graduating year was 99.
Okay.
So,
But yeah, I mean, I'm not that far ahead of you. I was 91. So.
Yeah.
But
yeah, man, that's got to be fucking crazy for you to go. Were you still able to like make any art while you were out there?
not really. Well, I mean, I took a sketchbook with me everywhere. And, it's not
It wasn't
like
really the time for it. Like,
well, your brain's somewhere else. You use a sketchbook to do, and so you just, I'll maybe throw some sketches out there sometime, but it's not anything to write home about.
yeah,
You left that art mindset behind to go focus on something else.
yeah.
But
I figured maybe you'd like sit there like fucking Van Gogh and like draw the scenery or some shit, but I guess there wasn't much.
You're not doing that. But or I wasn't anyway. But,
Nah.
and that was the thing. Around 2014, 2015, it was like I'm tired of this. And I'm ready to get out. So I knew I kind of made up my mind at that point. Like, I'm retiring. I'm not re-upping. I'm getting out. I've got over 20.
You can do that. You can just straight up say I'm done and
once your enlistment's up, because at that point I've got my 20-year letter, and I'd hit 21 years 4 months. And then once my enlistment was up, I was like, that's it. I'm done. And so prior to 2014, I started having to refocus on art. And where it came from was I was like, okay, if I get back in the art world, who do I want to work with? Yeah. And I thought, Doug Stanhope. And because I've been listening to podcasts, always been a fan of him forever. And I was like, I don't know what any of these people on the podcast look like except Doug, really. And so I had to go in and start research. And what really got me off my ass was hung over one Sunday morning, listened to the podcast, and Doug put out a cattle call because he was trying to put Castle Rock Kenny and Reverend Derek up as running for mayor in Bisbee. And so he put out a cattle call for artists to come up with some kind of campaign posters for yard signs, that kind of stuff. And I was like, that's what I needed. So I grabbed a beer to kind of get ahead of the hangover and went to the computer and started finding out what Derek and Castle Rock Kenny looked like, and knocked that out and sent it out. Because at that point, I didn't know even how to use Twitter. I didn't know how at signs and pound signs, which is hashtags. I didn't know how any of that worked. I didn't know what either of them did. This was
man.
2014, 2015.
He's got the old school phone too.
Well, it's an iPhone 8.
You can answer. It's all good. It's important.
No. It's not important. Come on, man.
Doesn't that suck when it goes from there? You shut that off and then the iPad starts ringing or something, or the computer. You're like, what the hell? I paused it for a reason, bro.
I told this guy. He just told me he had COVID for the second time. I'm like, hey man, let me know if you need anything. I'll bring it to you. But
that's about it.
I was like, I do have stuff going on tonight, so just kind of give me a minute. But so there he is. He told me you sent that into him, and you didn't really. Did you tag him? Did he even see it at first? Doug didn't even see it because, like I said, I didn't know how to tag people. I just put it out there, and a few people but then I thought, okay, that's not good enough practice. I need to go more. So I decided, okay, I'm going to draw everybody in the funhouse. I'm going to draw Doug and Bingo and Tracy and Shaylee and Chet Shank and hopefully I'll figure out. And I think think Chad was the first one that I figured out how it worked between hashtags and @ signs.
Yeah.
And then he responded. And then next thing you know, a local printer in Bisbee was printing off a poster that I had done of Doug. And Shaylee had I think posted on Twitter. And so that's when I went at Shaylee. I was like, hey, I know that artwork. And within 2 seconds, Shaylee was like, oh, I've been trying to get a hold of you.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah, I bet you.
She was like, let me get this printed quick.
Yeah, and that's how it started. From there, Shaylee was just trying to develop trust, giving me little jobs. Hey, change this font, change this color, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And hey, you want to do a whole poster? Of course I want to do a poster. And that's how it started. And then Doug and Burt Kreischer did a live podcast from the Bisbee Royale in about mid 2016, something like that. And Burt liked the posters, and a couple of weeks later, he hit me up, and it just kept stacking up from there.
That's awesome, man. It's so cool when they fucking actually reach back out to you and they dig your work, and you feel appreciated, you know?
Because they don't have to.
Yeah, they don't have to. And they could get anybody else to make something way shittier and probably pay them way more, you know?
And that's, you hit the nail on the head. They've got 1,000 options out there, and you're the one they chose. It does feel good.
Yeah, it's really nice. And especially when it's cool people like them too, man. Joe was just telling me he's supposed to go out to, I don't know, Bert's in LA still, I think. But he's supposed to go out and do the 500th episode of Bertcast.
Oh, man. That's good. Yeah, that's coming up quick.
That happens eventually, because he just got fucking COVID.
And, Joey did, or?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
He got it Christmas Day, or he found out about it on Christmas Day. Texted me at like 11 o'clock Christmas night after I had already been at my family's house and shit. I'm like, oh, man. Well, I just saw you Tuesday, so I guess I'm going to go get tested.
I have not had COVID, but then again,
You might have.
Well, I may have, but I stay at home mostly. I don't go out, work from home. I'm not around anybody.
Yeah.
But it's a couple of my buddies lately, just over the past 48 hours. One of them, they've been so careful over the past 2 years. They've always masked up. They stayed away from people. They stayed home. They went to their, the dude, he went to his construction job. She went to her teaching job, that kind of thing. But they've been so careful. Boom. After 2 years, they got it a couple weeks ago. Oh,
it just happened. He thinks he got it from his daughter goes to jiu-jitsu school.
Oh, yeah.
And one of the dads had it. I don't know. That's like the only place he could think that he could have got it. But still, it happened. And somehow his wife and daughter didn't get it. So they stayed separated, and I didn't go there for a week. And shit's going to happen eventually, I feel like. I'm just trying to keep it away from the little ones, I don't care if I get it.
Everyone I've talked to so far who's had COVID, I've never heard them say, God, I'm glad I got COVID.
Yeah. Well, actually, Joey was like, I'm glad. He's like, thank God it's over with, and I can go, like, he feels like he can go out places and shit. And not that he's going to do stand-up again anytime fucking soon, but, maybe. I don't know. Something's got to kick him in the fucking balls and get him back on stage, but I don't know. We'll see. You did stand-up for 6 years?
Yeah, right at 6 years. I was about to hit the 6-year point when COVID hit. Everything shut down. I was like, not.
Yeah, that's when I was about to start doing open mics, and they wouldn't pick me for like 3 months before COVID. And then COVID hit, and I was like, all right, well, I guess that's a fucking sign. I didn't get up on there. But shit. Did you start like after you got back and you started doing work for Doug and Bert and stuff?
I started kind of simultaneously. I've always liked comedy. I started to give you a kind of frame of reference. I think I started shortly after Robin Williams died.
Oh, okay.
I mean, again, that's not that's not why. That's what I remember. He
Around that
died
time.
shortly to my first time. I think September of 14 is when I started. I think that's when I started doing my
Okay.
first open mic. And, it was the first time you do your open mic, you get announced as the first time, and everybody's really enthusiastic and happy for you, and they're trying to be supportive. And that's the best it ever gets. And that's the last time it's that easy ever again.
But was it with like? Did you have friends with you?
Well, I did. Two friends showed up, but I mean, my first time was just awful. I think I talked about, I don't know, there was a dude in front of me at the grocery store. He was in line and he was getting a 6-pack of Bud Light, a couple of those, refrigerated roses, a pack of certs, and a box of rubbers. I'm like, God damn, dude, try to at least mask it a little bit. I mean, and of course the self checkout lines were open, but we were all standing in that same checkout line because the cashier was hot. And so we were all checking her out, and there's just nothing but dudes in that one line. And, but it was just dumb. It was stupid. But everybody was supportive. And then, you keep going back out every single night, and you listen to that recording on your phone on the way home, and you're getting nothing, no laughs. And it's a kick in the teeth, and you got to figure out real quick if you want to keep doing it or not. But
yeah.
I hated that COVID hit because at the 6-year point that was the point where I was finally I was starting to finally talk about what I wanted to talk about. I wasn't just trying to go for a joke, and I wasn't just trying to make people laugh or people like me, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So it took me that while to kind of learn the craft of writing and just stage presence and
getting used to being up there and
uncomfortable silences and how to use them and dealing with hecklers. So, I mean, it took me that long to kind of get my legs under me, and then COVID took it out.
Dude, well, hopefully you get back up on there sometime soon. The open mics, like I used to do a music open mic before COVID, and that shit obviously went away too.
Yeah.
We did one December, like the beginning of December. That was the first one since the whole thing started. And then this month we said, nah, fucking surge or some bullshit's happening. So I guess we can't do that right now. The bass players message us like, I don't really feel comfortable coming up and singing on a microphone with other people. Like, like it's open mic. What do you got? Like, I don't know. It's a whole fucking thing. It's just fucking sucks and it's weird. And you can't do an open mic like on here, I tried to think of ways to do it, crowdcast, like that kind of shit, but any way that you do it, you're still going to be one person on a camera playing for a bunch of people that might be watching.
Anybody that started comedy over the past 2 years doing the Zoom calls, I don't know how they did it, because like I did a couple of them. I'm like, I'm not doing this. It's terrible. You just don't get that feel, that feedback. It's good
like
or bad.
I noticed like about like just performers in general. Before I even got into like watching stand-up comedy live, like watching like plays in high school and like professional plays too, like in the city and stuff. They do like the same thing as comedians. They wait for a pause. They don't care about you booing. They just keep going, that kind of shit. And that's really hard to learn.
Yeah.
So I didn't even get a chance. I had a lot of years doing open mic and playing music live. So like I've talked on stage and shit, but it's never been like just me by myself, like fucking with people,
That's a big deal.
I've fucked with other people while they're on stage, like in front of them, like just telling them jokes and whatever. But it's like, I can't imagine getting back on or trying to get on stage right now, and why would I? Like, it might be like, open for 1 month and then shut down the next month or whatever. It sucks.
And I'm at the point now where it's like, everything is so expensive. Every time I leave my house, it costs me money. Gas prices are still, I don't know what you're in New York?
No, and we're in Jersey, but it's like 350.
It's 320 here. And
Yeah.
it's, I get in the car, they have to drive beers, or all the bars have raised their prices on booze. And it's like, am I really going to go out, risk COVID, spend more money for 5 minutes at an open mic to get my chops back under me? It's, all the money's coming out of my pocket.
Yeah, exactly. You got to wait. And some open mics, you got to like pay $5 to go on, right? Like,
well, down here, no. You don't. There's not a lot of bringer. There's a ton of open mics, not any bringer shows per se. I think there may be one downtown, but you still got to pay for your beers.
Yeah. And the food if you get hungry if you're out there while you're. Because every time I was there, man, I'd be there for 6-7 hours because we'd run the open mic. Yeah. I'd be eating food, same thing every time, but still, I'd be spending half of what I was making just, while I was there. But it was just kind of like to keep it going and kind of be part of the whole thing. But it's hard. You haven't never like hosted an open mic or anything like that, right?
Well, I've never hosted my own. I've never had my own, but I've co-hosted and I've hosted a ton of mics.
Yeah.
Somebody can't make it, and I'll do it.
Jump on there. Yeah.
But I've never went to a venue and worked out the details as far as you're going to pay me and I'm going to guarantee we're going to have 20 people here, and I've never went there and worked that deal.
That's the scary thing, man. I don't even know if I would want to. I would want to do it, but I wouldn't want to be having that pressure on me, like the bar coming at you, like, hey, because I see it now, dude. With the music one, the first thing that happens, they come over to us, hey, can you turn it down? The drums are a little too loud. I'm like, we can't turn. They're mic'd, but the drums. You asked for this.
Can you turn down the drums?
I'm sitting there like, hey, can you shut off the music that's playing up top? That might be the first thing to help us out here, because we're playing a little louder so we can get over that radio you got on.
The sun's
you got an open mic, like shut the radio off. I don't know if they got open mic or comedy open mics with music playing in the background. Does that happen? I mean, the fuck? People don't know. I don't know. Especially around here, South Jersey. We're like 20 minutes, 25 minutes from Philly. So it's like not really. I'm closer to Philly than New York. Sure. So there's not a lot of shit around here. I have to travel like to Atlantic City or like Philly or New York near Joey or something like that to do anything fun or have any like club experiences and shit like that. It sucks, man. The last show I saw him at was at like Parks Casino in PA somewhere, like right past Philly, and that was badass. Like you were doing openings for like the tinfoil hat and shit. How did you get into that?
Oh,
working with Sam and doing posters for Sam and
doing posters for Sam, and Sam is such a good guy. I love Sam to death, and such a good guy. And of course, tinfoil hat podcast, and so he was coming to Nashville, and we're doing Nashville and then Huntsville, and he's like, I probably need a Southern guy, to kind of help ease us into it, and did great. And it packed show at Nashville at Zany's, and then the next night we went down to Huntsville, and I knew him and Eddie Bravo were going to come out, as Sam says, hard in the paint. And I go, hey man, just so you know, Huntsville is not really a joke. It's got the most densest population of PhD holders in the world right here in Huntsville. And everybody's working for NASA, and everybody's working space program and Redstone Arsenal, and everybody's working on missiles and rockets and spins and all that. And so if you come out hard against the moon landing didn't happen, you should expect some pullback from the crowd. Yeah. And man, I mean, they did. They came out and it happened.
You can't expect them to see. That was the one thing Joey told me about I forget who you told him. Who the fuck was it? Oh, somebody that was opening for motherfuck. Oh my god, how come I can't think of his name right now? Anyway, they were opening for him, and the dude told him not to make a joke because the headliner didn't want him to do the joke because he does something like that or whatever, and he went out there and did the fucking joke anyway. But then the headliner was like, "You want to open for me?" Like, I'm glad that he was happy that he did that, you know. I got to remember what the hell it was. It was Bill Hicks. Bill Hicks had somebody opening for him, and they did that to him, and then he was like, instead of being pissed off, he was like, "Fucking hey, man, that's a real comedian right there." You know? So that's why Sam probably fucking did that shit. He don't give a fuck.
And dude, that's a huge. I mean, Sam's just a genuinely good person anyway. Yeah. And then when he comes out, he's on stage. Just like you said, he can give a shit. He comes out, he does exactly what Sam wants to do. Love him to death, man. Yeah. He takes control of the stage, takes control of the mic. Love him to death.
And that was right before the pandemic, too?
Oh, yeah. This is... I'm trying to get my...
Like direct, like in 2019, 2018 or something like that?
Trying to put it together because I can't remember if it was early 2018 or early 2019 or late 2018. I think it was late 2018 because Andrews and I were doing some shows out west. Did like Tucson, Phoenix, El Paso, just some stuff out there. And that'd been May, June of 2019.
Okay. And, either way, it was still right before their shit hit the fan. And it fucking probably pissed you the motherfucker off. Like, Jesus Christ. Besides the artwork, you got the comedy that fucking just stops too.
Yeah. You know, and I was talking to another guy. It would be different if we had used this time off to really write hard and write good stuff and stay off Twitter and not burn, jokes and that kind of. But it's just hard not to be a smart ass, or just it's hard not to throw stuff out there.
For some people, some people just still need that fucking them likes and it's real. It's a connection, man. And I was just watching a fucking documentary on Hulu about like the beginnings of Nickelodeon. It's called like the Orange Years, and it's pretty cool. And they made like somebody who was involved with Nickelodeon made like the first. It was called like the Cube. It was for TV. It was basically like social media, but back in like the late 70s, early 80s. And it was a little box with a whole bunch of buttons on it connected to your TV. And they were making like TV shows that you could like interact with the actual show live, like while you were sitting there. Or at least they would get it would be like a voting thing. So like if, but damn, that's just so crazy. I don't know where the hell I got into that shit, but it's a fucking weird world, man. Now we're just stuck on these things, barely watching regular TV. I mean, I watch some shit like on some badass looking shows, but like there hasn't been like too much comedy, like TV, like even before the pandemic, really. Like, yeah,
I dumped my cable and got rid of my TV years ago.
That's what happened.
And I haven't missed it at all, especially when the COVID crap happened. I definitely haven't missed it because, we're just inundated with everything on our phones and, news alerts and that kind of crap and social media. And, if I pull up YouTube, even there's an ad running for something. It's like, I didn't
ask for that, man. Come on.
Yeah.
Even when you pay premium on YouTube, they still fucking shove them ads down your throat sometimes, man. You just don't have to wait to watch the video,
Yep.
But that's good. I mean, I got rid of regular cable. I just have the streaming shit now. So because
Same.
The little kids need something to fucking watch during the day, and so does Mama. She needs her Food Network and fucking crime shows and shit.
Just out of curiosity, is your wife into not only crime shows but flamingos?
Flamingos? Well, I mean, it seems like some crime shows have flamingos featured in them a lot.
Like these older ladies I used to hang out with, used to date, that kind of thing. They're all into crime shows. All of them. I mean, completely. but they always had flamingos on all their shit, like on their purses, on their, pillowcases. Like, what is the obsession with flamingos and crime stuff when you hit 45?
I don't know. I think, and the Golden Girls too, right? Like that was another.
I see a lot of dudes into the Golden Girls now.
Yeah, I am. Shit, I was fucking sad last week, man. Betty White.
Dude, I was doing that 24-hour Twitch stream. I thought people were messing with me in the chat.
Yeah.
And I was like, Betty White's not dead. That's another Twitter joke. And they're like, no, she's dead.
And
like,
you're doing a live stream, so you can't really stop and check your phone and look at shit.
Yeah, I didn't have time to check that. I just had to go, nah, yeah, they're lying.
That's awesome. Well, it's not awesome. That's fucked up. I just said it's awesome that Betty White died and you couldn't really check.
Well, that's also kind of another thing. Sure, she was a national treasure. We all love her to death. But 99 years old, I mean, how much, anytime an old person dies and people are just like, oh, they just had so much life left. Really? How much? I mean,
at least a couple more weeks, man. She was supposed to do a special on her 100th. Shit. She robbed us of that, but you know.
That's right.
I think I read somewhere that somebody said that she died on New Year's Eve, so we didn't have to deal with that in 2022 as like the beginning, like a shitty fucking beginning to the year, which kind of was though, but still.
Yeah.
We didn't know her personally, but R.I.P. Betty.
Hopefully she was a warrior and took all the bad crap with her, just dragging you to hell.
I mean, for me though, it was just like I didn't know her, and I'm not like, I'm not, she has so much more life. Like she looked old. She really looked old. Yeah. But like she was a part of my childhood. That's that's the only reason. She was the last GG left.
Yeah, it's like. Her Dick Van Dyke. That dude's still around. I mean, there's so many old people. Bob Barker, isn't he still alive?
Yeah. Nah, I don't know. I know he's not hosting. He hasn't been hosting The Price is Right for the longest of times.
But there's a lot of old people that should be dead that are still kicking it.
Yeah.
They're still with us.
Shit, speaking of the live stream, bring that up. You were doing a 24-hour live stream on New Year's, and you have 24 sketches up on eBay now, I have 3 bids in on 3 of them right now. I keep getting messages like you are the top bidder, or somebody's like keeps bidding back and forth on the Anthony Bourdain one.
Okay, gotcha.
I'm like shit, and I put like an extra couple bucks, and they're like, "Oh, you automatically you are the outbid." I'm like, "Fuck, man," but yeah. So yeah, tell me about that, man, because your friend Andy, he's it's got a little bit of the cants.
Yeah, he's got the big C. For anybody that doesn't know, starting at noon on New Year's Eve, 24 hours straight to noon on New Year's Day. I stayed up about 32 hours, and did 24 sketches in 24 hours, about a sketch an hour. And once that was done, put all the sketches up on eBay for auction, with 100% of the proceeds going to Andy Andrews, great comedian out there, my buddy, he and Doug Stanhope are best friends, and we love him to death. He's friend to everybody, and so yes, he was diagnosed with cancer about 3 or 4 weeks ago, bile duct cancer. They're going to have to do like a Whipple procedure. Ended up going to have to take out his gallbladder, parts of his pancreas, and some other stuff, and they're going to have to get in there and root around and start looking for some infected cells. So when somebody gets cancer or something like that, it's not like you can just go slap cancer in the face and take its money and rob it.
I wish.
There's not much you can do about it. And so, but it seems like the healthcare system these days in this country is all based on a GoFundMe, and that's pretty much it, because it's his wife's legally blind. She can't drive anywhere. She can't go anywhere to do anything. But his daughter, she came back into town. So the burden of getting both of them back to the doctor's appointments and surgery and radiation and chemotherapy and all that stuff, that's going to be on her. And so, again, a GoFundMe or anything, those sketches raised on eBay, it's not going to put a dent in the insurance bill or the hospital bills, but at least we can help pay the light bill and water bill, put groceries on the table, put gas in the car, that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Hopefully,
the shit that they need like now.
Yeah, just keep their head above water and keep them going. Yeah. So that's in his daughter. I don't want to say her name on.
No, that's cool. Yeah.
But she put out a GoFundMe, and I think the target was 10 grand, and then boom, they blew through that and made about 18 grand.
Wow.
And so a lot of people, bam, pulled up.
Yeah, that's awesome.
They turned up. And,
turned up.
Yeah. So it's hopefully these sketches will do something, and whoever gets the winning bidders, they'll get something on top of it, plus giving back to Andy and helping out him and his family. And I was glad to do it, and tickled to death. And it's stand up 24 hours. People are like, "How can you do it? How can you do it?" I was like, "I'm used to it. It's no problem." But I'm learning my lower back can't really do about 3 in the morning. It's like, I need to get a horizontal at some point.
Hell yeah, man. Oh my God. I can't even stand or sitting in that position for that long, man.
Yeah, I can definitely tell, I feel my age these days.
Dude, I just turned 40 last September, and I've been feeling the age. I've been seeing the age. I'm like, holy shit, man. I had to get a colonoscopy earlier this year for like a full one for the first time. For some reason, the motherfucking doctors 2 years ago were like, we just need to do one of those half of ones that only goes up half the intestines.
Yeah.
So they didn't check the whole fucking thing. So time went on. I was still having some problems. So I had to go back and get that shit done. Oh my God, man. And it's not fun. It's not fun. But
how many days were you wet and wild afterwards? Like you never trust a fart.
Yeah, actually, like right after, dude, when you wake up from the anesthesia, they tell you that you're gonna feel like you have to fart or whatever. But when I woke up, I was like, "Lady, can I go to the bathroom? Because I feel like I have to shit
right now."
Like it doesn't feel like a fart. It feels like more than that. It's like a short times 20, Like, and she was like, "Well, you just gotta hold on a minute. You just woke up. You gotta." I'm like, "I know, but I had to ask her twice. I was like, I don't want to poop in the bed." Can you let me know?
I'm gonna steamroll these drawers. I'm about to blow it out.
Dude, oh my God, that was horrible. And that, I don't know how long it took, but the juice, you watch it go in, and then you're just like, huh? Yeah. And then bam, you wake up like it's nothing, like 2 seconds later, but it feels, it's such a weird feeling. Yeah. But shit. just being out, waking up and seeing a lady and then having a poop, it's just the weirdest feeling I've ever had in my life, I think. I'm like, at least I'm still alive, but oh my God.
This isn't the nurse fantasy I wanted.
No, not at all.
Totally different.
And you're a totally different nurse than the one that I went in with. Like, who are you?
She had smaller hands.
Yeah, exactly. And they were warmer. Shit. Oh man. But that's a really great thing that you did, dude. That's the thing that was like, yo, let me fucking finally ask him, And I didn't realize that the auction was only for a week. So that's why I was like, well, let's get it on now and see, at least half the week it'll be up. Not that the podcast is that big and it'll be huge of a promotion, but still, I have family members that have had cancer, passed away, and all that shit. So I'm here with you, man. I'm fucking fuck that shit. Fuck cancer. Was it # fuck cancer?
That's right. It's my dad died from cancer, uncle died from cancer, mother had a double mastectomy, so it's ran through, and you get. I've been fortunate enough, for them that I've been around where I can help.
Yeah.
It's not fun to watch, and it's not fun to, you've got to be there to help them, because they need bandages changed. They need sacks changed, they need orifices drained. They need, there's stuff, and no, it's not good. And, it sucks when a young person has to immediately become primary care provider to help, but, at least you're there. But yeah, cancer sucks, man. And, I didn't know if this was the right thing to do. And it certainly wasn't about me, but I knew I had to do something. I just didn't know what. And
how's he feel? Like, were you like, hey, Andy, can I do this? Or like, did you just do it? And
I just did it. I reached out to the Issues with Andy crew and go, it's like, hey, guys, I want to do something. I'm standing by. If you need free art or posters for, charity, fundraising, whatever. And they were like, dude, we love you to death. Stay there. We'll let you know when we need something. And I kind of went, I can't just wait around. I got to do something.
Yeah.
And so then I texted Andy, but hey, man, I got something, but kind of got something stirring around. Do you mind if I just run with it? He goes, go, man. And so I did. I put it out on Twitter. As soon as I thought about it, as soon as you put it out there in the ether on social media, you got to kind of stick to it at that point, or you lose integrity and people, he eats shit. He went,
you fucking asshole. What are you talking about?
This Glory Hound looking mother. So I put it out there, and so that way I'd have to stick to it. And and again, like I said, keeping the auction going for only a week, I don't know if that's the right idea. I don't know if, it just seemed like doing a 24-hour marathon may have generated more excitement or enthusiasm, or I don't know. I don't know if it was the right call, I don't know if it was the right plan, but it's all I knew to do last week. It was the best thing I knew to do. Dude,
it's a great idea. I mean, especially if you have the time and your body can handle it. It's really cool for promoting something, It's like one of those Golden Girls fucking marathons during a hurricane, you know what I'm saying? And Betty White was the hurricane that came and didn't shut it down though.
That's right.
But damn, yeah, that's a cool shit. And you got the Twitch stream. I just followed you on your YouTube because you had the drunk drawer video thing you do. Are you gonna start doing that on YouTube again? Why'd you stop on YouTube?
So, my thing with YouTube, I did 13 episodes in 2020, and it passed the time. So I couldn't get the lighting right because as the days got shorter here, the lights, that very bright fluorescent kind of yellow light was blowing that white paper up in my face.
Yeah.
So the problem I was having was if I could see it, then the viewers and the camera couldn't pick it up because it was so bright.
Yeah.
It was overexposed. And then if I turned the light down, I couldn't see it, but everybody else could. And so I just got frustrated and tired. I was like, man, I'm not going to kill myself editing. And had 4 cameras up and shit. 2 of them usually died, even though they were fully charged, a battery thought that it was dead, or a HD card thought, I'm full, and it's not full, and it was all just so frustrating. So then I thought, all right, Twitch stream seems pretty nice. Then I'll take this live footage, I'll take that into DaVinci Resolve, which is a fantastic. I love it, and then I'll be able to edit that and put music with it, and then I'll dump that on YouTube. And so that's what I'm trying to get to the point of. So people have told me I'm working in reverse, but in my head it makes sense because I'm so new at it. And so I don't know. We'll find out. It's a learning experience.
Yeah, man. Shit. I mean, with the joint, it's always pre-recorded. So it's like the church was like, they would go live on YouTube before.
Yeah.
Up until a certain point, actually. I don't know if they kept going live like all the way through to the end, but it's just, it's kind of like nerve-wracking to me. Like, I don't know how they did it. Like, I know you got like the OBS system, so you can hook up all the cameras, and like then you have to hook that up to whatever thing you're streaming to, and that's always been like a fucking mind fuck for me. Had to figure that out. So, but I hear you though. Go live with it, record it to Twitch, and then take that video, download it, and then put it in DaVinci and edit it together for YouTube.
Yeah.
That's perfect, you know?
And again, some of these hip, cool, young Twitch kids are going, oh man, you're going in reverse. Nobody goes from Twitch to YouTube. They go, or they said, you went from YouTube to Twitch. Nobody does that. Everybody goes Twitch to YouTube. Whatever, man. I don't got
Well, you were on YouTube, and then you went to Twitch, and then back to YouTube. Fuck it.
I do what I want.
I do what I want. Taking our jobs, little fucking kids. Fucking their $10 apps and shit. What the fuck? God damn it.
So what have you got cooking? Again, it's we started off the program, man. I mean, you've taken on a lot of stuff over these past couple of years. Keeping up with the kids, keeping everybody safe and healthy and happy, and holding everything down.
I got engaged last year, so we have a wedding coming up. Thank you. And we got the 4-year-old, the 1-year-old. So that's just encompassing life, and it's just like, it's not overtaking it, but it's been a really big learning curve for both of us, the mama and dad, to have to like be able to take care of the kids, give them the attention that they need, and also get our work done at the same time. Because luckily she's been able to like work from home since the pandemic happened. Luckily, but she has been going like, she works with like autistic kids and stuff. So she like has to go out and go to houses too, like a couple times a week.
Yeah.
But that died down for a while there, obviously, but she started doing that again. So it's just the scheduling, everything. It's just been nuts. And then, last July when Joey emailed me about the joint, he didn't know what it was called then, but he wanted to do another podcast and said, do you want to do what Lee was doing for me? I was like, at that point, I was already doing his show posters, Rogan's. I was working with a couple other comedians at the time, but like, obviously shit just stopped. And then when he emailed me about that, I didn't realize that he was going to move back to New Jersey. Because I was like a year or two before, I was like, dude, I want to move out to LA. Because I want to I'm working with a bunch of you motherfuckers. I want to be in the scene. I want to go to the shows. I want to, but I was hesitant because at that time I had one kid and the girl, and he was like, don't do it. He was like, this is too expensive out here. And I mean, honestly, what you're doing, I mean, yeah, it's going to be nice to go to shows and shit, but you can do that art stuff from home, You don't need to be out here. Same for you, But, like, it would have been nice. It would have been cool. Yeah. But, so I stayed. I didn't go. Then the pandemic hit, like, right after that. And then he decided to move back, and he was like, fucking A. It's about an hour away from me.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't care if you are 3, 4, 5, 10, 15 hours away. I'll still drive, bro. As long as she can watch the kids while I'm gone. But it's fucking been crazy to be able to work with him. Honestly, like, I went to see him like 4 or 5 times live since like 2014, 2015. And it was always really cool. I met him the first time I met him. I brought him like a little fucking, it was like a little dime sack with like a Batman symbol on the outside with like a rolling paper folded up in the middle. I was like, what's up? And he just took it. He knew what he was doing. He just took it right out. He was like, thanks, brother. And after that, I was like, this is so cool. That was before I even like started doing posters. And then I started doing the posters and shit for him. And it was just fucking, he called me right after I made the one that was turned into the Savage Dad album cover. And he messaged me, DM'd me, followed me, called me that night. I was just, starstruck, kind of, over the phone. But I was just like, damn, this is so fucking weird. It's so cool. And now I get to see him twice a week.
That's awesome, man.
For the past year and a half. So it's, I don't know what the fuck life I'm living right now, dude. Honestly. I don't. It's just such a different world. Like, I was living the past 20 years in a cubicle, hating shit, fucking pissed, And just trying to make my own music, not really getting into like a band or anything, but just making it myself. Then I started the artwork after finding podcasts in 2014, 2015, and I was like, fuck, man, this is so cool. I saw a couple people do like Photoshop stuff for comedians. It's like Photoshop Steve and I think maybe Marty from Drastic Graphics, the dude that does the Fighter and the Kid.
Okay.
But at that time, they like, I think Marty was doing the posters for like the podcast episodes. So I was like, damn, that's a cool idea. I started like making little ditty ones for like the church and JRE and shit. And then I got into like doing like the poster. I took the Photoshop thing. I was like, you know what? I'm going to make a tour poster instead of just a little episode poster. And then Joey started retweeting him. Rogan started retweeting him. I was like, this is... I figured out the @ symbol. I was like, fuck this shit. I am tagging a motherfucker, you know?
Yeah.
Shit. So and they started retweeting. And then Instagram, I went over to there and I started sharing them on there. And Rogan followed me in there because at that time, Diaz didn't have one of those.
Yeah.
So... Then he followed me on there, started message me on there asking for posters for fucking like the Comedy Store and like just his show posters. And then eventually got to the point where I was making a fucking tour posters for him and Chappelle, you know, a Photoshop for Dave Chappelle and Joe Rogan.
It's crazy.
I don't care who you are. That's something like, it's just like, what?
It never hits me until the project is over. Like when they hit me up and go, hey man, we need to do this. And my brain just goes, all right, it's time to go to work.
Yeah, it's in work mode.
On and, you know, let's get these details down. Tell me one time, lock it in. And then next time we talk will be in a few hours. And I'm going to have you several sketches to start choosing from.
See, that's what's different with you, man. You get to do that and go back and forth with them and shit.
That's the way I like to work, and we nail it down, you know, and it's, you know, typically, I think the longest, Doug had, I think the All Things Comedy poster out in Phoenix. I think I had 7 or 8 people like Doug and Shaylee and Bert and Morgan Murphy and Hennigan and Jamie Kilstein. There were Chet Shank. There were several people in there.
It's like a 3-day poster.
I think there was a big change in it. I think totally it took me 36 hours to do it total. Plus, I had Bert's posters, and there was, he was doing helium up in Portland. And the first one he did was the Facts of Life, where we had Joey and Joe and Ari and Bert and Tom dressed up as the girls from Facts of Life. And somebody in Bert's crew didn't like it. They said, we can't use that because you need to be promoting yourself, not everybody else. And so then we canned that one, but, you know, Bert and I both liked it. And, you know, he hung it up on his wall. I don't think he sold it. But so then I had to basically come up with a new one for Bert overnight for that one. And so there were 3 posters in a week that I had to crank out, and just 20 hours at the drawing table every day for 3 or 4 days straight. And I'm just going to bed every night with a claw, just my fingers, and just everything was just completely just gnarled. And there's some dude, I can't remember who it was, some dude on Twitter, he thought it was his time to critique my stuff. I just went to bed, and I mean, I couldn't even use my right hand. And I mean, I took my left thumb and just laid into him, just hit back once at a time. And I was so much hate and just seething hatred was coming out, and I just couldn't type fast enough with that one left thumb. Like,
it was his time to critique my work. Fuck you. Jesus Christ.
I can't remember what he said, but I was just burnt, just 4 hours of sleep a day, working your ass off, going through changes. But you know,
that's a good.
What's that?
No, I was just saying that's cool that you had to do that whole process back up. It sucks that you had to change shit, but that's the way it is with design and stuff, man. I didn't really have to do that until like I started working with Adam Ray. He likes to have shit perfect. He would text, and he was one of the guys that like I gave my phone number to. So he would be texting me, and he'd be texting me back at like midnight sometimes to fix a poster for like 3 weeks from now. I'm like, dude, I'm in the middle of like sleeping, and you just woke up the kids, bro.
Do you have to have it right now?
Yeah, do you have to? But yeah, I totally get that shit. But you are like mine was just Photoshop stuff. Like I could really change it easily. You have to freaking sit there and redo a lot.
Yeah, once it's all hand drawn in there, depending on what it is, if somebody goes, hey, can you put that person in the background? Sometimes I can lasso them out and, shrink them.
Yeah.
But you still got to draw stuff back in and recolor that kind of stuff. But if they need it enlarged, that's when it gets a problem because then it becomes pixelated. Then you got to redraw everything. But, even with that, it's, you're in that fog of work, at that time. But when you get past that haze and you look back, it's like, holy shit, I cranked out some pretty decent work. That wasn't too bad.
Some pretty awesome people. Like,
yeah. It's like they actually trusted me to get this done, and we developed a little trust here. I got it done for them. I met the deadline, and everything's good.
Do you feel like you work better under pressure sometimes? Or like you can't even get to work unless there's pressure involved?
and if there's a deadline and it's a tight deadline, you don't have time to second guess yourself. You just got to get it done.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, whenever I do a poster, that poster has about a 5-day shelf life between before I'm sick and tired of looking at it. It's like, ugh. Yeah. I start picking out all the errors in it. I should have done this. I should have done that. It sucks. That sucks. I hate it. I wish I had it to do it over again. And then I won't look at it for a year. And then I'll look back at it and go, it wasn't too bad. Given the deadline I had, I did the best I could.
Yeah.
And, so, yeah, shit definitely gets done under a deadline. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah, man. Fuck, man. That's pretty much all I ever do. Deadlines. I mean, I had to get used to it with the joint, like, because we don't go live, we just do it the day before it comes out. And we put it out at 7 a.m. So, like, I go there Sunday at, like, 11, 12 in the afternoon, but then I got to drive home, upload it all to the computer, make sure, do all the kid stuff and all dinner and bedtime, and then I got to sit down and edit it together in Premiere and then upload it. And when there's a fucking Zoom like this, like, oh my God, man. It just takes a little bit longer because I like to make the Zoom, like, instead of just leaving it on the picture, I like to, like, have you and then me, people talking back and forth. That's what takes fucking forever.
That goes back to that perfection, because, you want to make it fun for the viewer, people who aren't us to watch it. Because it's kind of boring just watching two talking heads talk. So you got to have some kind of movement. So you're doing the right thing.
Like.
Yeah, you're doing the right thing.
Then I check. You got to add like the little overlay, so it's not just a black background on there. It'd be cool if like Zoom had that as a feature. If I could put an overlay on the Zoom, because then I could record this whole thing at one time. I wouldn't have to wait and add it into it later and shit. Yeah. It's fun though. Like I don't mind. I have fun staying up until 3 o'clock in the morning, because I make sure I put this shit out the next morning too. And actually, the last one I was pissed because I couldn't, for some reason, my Premiere wasn't letting me do the multi-camera thing for my episode, the OneByOne. So I had to just leave it like on one thing, and then like the next day, well, the baby was sick and he kept waking up that night, so I was like, fuck, man, I gotta get it out, but I also have to take care. So I just said, you know what, I can't do the multi-camera thing this time. Sucks, man. But I figured it out. I had to, because I had to do the joint again after that.
So that's the big thing with anytime people work with an Avid Studio suite or yourself doing the video, doing the editing, uploading stuff. How stressed do you get at 3 o'clock in the morning when your internet goes down, or
in the middle, like even if it's like at 12 a.m. and anyway, when I'm in the middle of uploading something, even if it's like 2 minutes in, or if I've been doing it for 10, 15 minutes, it fucking sucks. Because you know why? For me, I'm added like as a manager on Joey's pages, like his main one and the clips page. So anytime that like a video accidentally fucks up in the middle of uploading or whatever, I can make it private, but I can't just permanently delete the damn thing. I have to message Joey and his wife to go log on to their computer, delete it, because it won't even let me upload another one after that sometimes. There's been like 1 or 2 episodes where I had to wait till the morning to like upload it, and people were pissed.
I don't go through anything nowhere near what you go through with that kind of data uploads. But if an email won't go through, I'm losing my shit. I'm pulling my hair out. It's like, and it just makes me realize how kind of dependent we are on this crap. And I can't imagine what you go through when you're trying to upload that much data.
Dude, I haven't even, like, we have a ADT alarm system that has like, we have 2 cameras that we can move around the house, and it's hooked up through the Wi-Fi and shit. But when you go on the app right now, since December 21st, you can't like look at the cameras. There's a thing, I don't know what it is. Sometimes like when the electric goes out or something, you have to go and unplug the boxes that these things are plugged into in the wall, turn off the Wi-Fi, like unplug it, plug it back in for these cameras to connect to this thing again. So for the past couple weeks, I've been dependent on the Wi-Fi and internet so much that I have not even unplugged it to make them cameras work again so I can check on my children.
Prank call. He didn't mean that. Anybody listening, they're fully functional.
No, we have other cameras, but
there you go.
Those 2, no, I do. It's a QB or QBA. I don't know, some bullshit, but you can control the fucking sound and shit on there too. I could play a little hum song or like one of those the white noise sounds. I could just put it on there. I could actually even talk into the app and it'll play for the baby in the crib. I'm like, yeah, this is pretty fucking cool.
That's cool.
So one of the first episodes when I came back, like doing live, like, well, recording them, because this fucking 65 or 64 was the first one that I had of these that was video. Like all the other ones before were just audio. That was another reason why I couldn't even handle uploading video a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Especially on my old computer. I had to get this new one earlier last January. No, not this month, but last year. Yeah, I have the Mac, the M1 chip one, the newer one. So that's the only reason that I'm fucking getting shit done good, I think. Because I was like, fuck this. My old 2015 MacBook was not cutting it.
That's, we were talking earlier. That's, I swear by it. Apple won't come out and say it, but I swear by it that Catalina was released to kill the i5, i6 processors to make room for that M1 chip that came through because, once, OS 12 came out, completely ready for the M1 chip. Like,
oh, yeah.
I see what you people did. You won't
and it sucks. Like, you can go back to the older versions, but then they have, like, the certain shit won't work with the older shit. So it's like, they fuck you either way.
Yep. Yeah, they're just waiting for they just want that cash.
I know, but I love their product so much, man. I love how they all connect. It's so beautiful. The iPad is just incredible, man. Imagine if we had that shit back when we were like teenagers and shit, man.
Dude, I remember like in 94, I became a Mac guy or an Apple guy in 94. And I remember that initial scanner I bought. I was working 2 or 3 jobs plus going to school, and that scanner was $500 or $600. That thing was huge,
bigger than a copier.
Yeah, just all glass. But you had to have that crap, and it lasts forever. But yeah, having an iPad, it's amazing. And I hate to promote Apple, but yeah, I love them. I can't do that.
Even if you have just the iPad and Procreate, that's all you need in life, I feel like.
That's me. That's where I am.
That's all you need, dude. So many people that I've seen do just like you, the comic shit on there. Like real comics are being drawn on iPads with Procreate nowadays.
And that new system. I mean, they've added a thing called Pages down at the bottom, just like Photoshop. Where you have your pages tiled on the side, where you can click on. Oh, what did I do on page 23? Click. It's the same thing down at the bottom. You can just scroll to page 23 to see what you did, and
oh wow,
so it's really functional. What we were talking about earlier. I think everybody got lost in the 3D function that the new version came out with. But yeah, that Pages.
I have to check that out because I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, it was a big deal.
That's awesome, man. I've contacted Procreate so many times. I was like, let me sponsor you or sponsor me or let me just talk about you. I don't care. Because damn, they're so great. Awesome. Yeah, they're so great. And they get back to everybody like that, man. That's why I love it. On Twitter.
Immediately on Twitter. Yep.
I love it.
Yep.
So fucking cool, man. Well, dude, thank you for spending the evening with me, man. Seriously.
Thank you so much for just the courtesy and the opportunity to be on here. Thank you so much, sir. It's been my pleasure, and thanks for thinking about me. I appreciate your time.
No, thank you. And thank you for doing that for Andy. That was really fucking cool. No matter what happens with that shit, I'm looking for those 3 at least are going to be mine.
Try to send out some good vibes for you.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'll see you on the old IG stream, and take care of yourself down there, man.
Okay, brother. You do the same. Best to your family, and I hope everybody's doing well.
Same to you, brother.
Okay, brother. See you, man. Take care.
Bye.
All right.